So because I've gotten so many requests for this specific tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to take a sport coat or suit jacket and make it a slimmer fit by taking in the side seams. This is super simple and not hard for anyone to do. I'm going to be showing you on a client's outfit, so let's get right into that. We're going to skip the marking phase. I'll explain it a little bit, but let's get right into the actual sewing and marking of the jacket. So I'm not going to be showing you how I fit it because this is a customer's jacket and I can't show you on myself, but once you put it on, just like anything else, you're just going to pin how much feels comfortable, and that is how much you're taking in. So on this customer, we are taking in 1 inch on each side. We're not doing the center seam, just the side seam. So once you know your mark, you're going to take the coat, open up from the bottom, and then turn it inside out. So here's the coat inside out. I did some marks on the center because that's what he needed, but we're just talking about making your coat more of a slimmer fit. You're going to find the side seams, lay it down, whoops. So you're going to take your side seam, lay it out, and you're going to press it flat if it's not already flat. Then take your measurement, which on this one is 1 inch, and you're going to cut it in half, make a 1/2 inch, and sew it on the double, meaning from the seam you're going to go over a 1/2 inch, meaning that when you take it in, it'll take in both sides, making it 1 full inch. You're going to mark it at the fullest point in the middle, and then all the way at the end to where the vent is, if you have a vent. If not, just go straight down. And then you're going to taper it up into the armhole, just like how this, I don't know if you can see this white chalk mark all the way down. Now, if you have a vent on the back of your jacket, it's going to go make an L right back into that old seam. If it's a center seam or straight seam like this center back is, you would just take this mark here and you would just go straight down the same amount all the way till you come off the end. So let's get over to the machine. We're going to sew this down and then we're going to show you the pressing. Oh, real quick, another thing you want to make sure is that you take the same amount, maybe even a little bit less than what you're taking in on the fabric on the lining side, so you don't get too much billowing on the inside of the coat. So also you have to mark to take in the lining if your coat is fully lined.
For this particular alteration, I like to keep the stitch length at around 2.5. Now as we come down to this end part of the vent, you're just going to take the stitching down right till it's aligned with the other seam, and then do an L and go right into the old stitching.
After you have everything sewn, if you have side vents, you're going to be flipping it right side out to press it and get it finished. But if you had a straight seam straight down the sides, you're going to need to take apart these old seams and then press open the fabric.
So starting with this side seam, we have it turned right side out. We're going to be pushing the excess fabric in towards the middle so that all the fabric is folded towards the middle, and then you're going to press down that seam. You have all that set. We're moving to the vent. We opened up the entire bottom so that we have room to reset the vent. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take the distance from the old crease in the new stitching, and we're just going to follow that all the way down the vent, creating a new crease. as you see here after I get this all finished and cleaned up. So as you saw, I just took the material and rolled it over so that that distance between the old crease and the new crease is going to be exactly the same. Now this step is irrelevant if you don't have side seams with a vent or if you have enough interfacing anyways, but all you're going to be doing is grabbing a piece of iron-on interfacing and putting it on that new crease where it's no longer on the interfacing. This is going to hold it up and make sure that it doesn't lose its shape. First, make sure you pin the location of the vent so that when you go to pressing it again, it just makes easy work of it rather than having to refind it. Lay down the interfacing so that it covers the new crease and just put some steam and heat from the iron. Make sure you go all over the piece that you put in. That way it doesn't become loose and peel off later in time. So just make sure that you get enough and cut off any excess. Now that you have it done, you're going to turn it the right side again. You're just going to repress in that crease. Find the pin you put in, fold it down, and just make sure you give it a nice hard press so that it keeps its shape.
So one last step before we finish up this coat and you have a nice slim fit coat to wear, you need to tack up this lining that we completely took apart. Now that we took it in on the sides, that means there's going to be extra lining right here on the jacket. So we're going to lay this out and we're going to mark how much we need to take in the center of the lining so that it lays flush. So whatever this amount is right here is what we're going to be taking in. So I have the back of the lining marked to come in a total of 2 inches, 1 inch on the double. I'm just going to go sew that up and then bring it back. I'm going to show you how I press it and tack it. So we have the lining pressed and ready to be sewn. We're just going to hand stitch this entire way. There's a way you can do it by machine, but it's a lot harder to explain and demonstrate how to do it. So I'm just going to show you the old way of doing it by hand. So we have our needle, and at the end, we have our knot. We're just going to start right here. And from here, you're just going to take a little piece of the top, just like this, and then do a little bit of the bottom. And about every 5 stitches or so, you're going to take your needle, see if I can show you this. You're going to tie it off. So you just double up on the one bottom side. This way it stops it from unraveling if one of them breaks. Okay, so once you get to the end, you're going to finish off the stitch just like how you tacked it along the way. You're going to go through the bottom and you're going to double that up just with a few stitches. But once you get through to here, you're going to put the needle through this hole and you're going to tie a knot just like this. Now you can do this method along the way just to extra secure the seam, but it is not necessary. I just do it at the end because it's easy for this to become undone if not tied off correctly. So I do that twice, push it through one last time, and cut it. So there you have it. That is how you take in the side seams to make your suit slim fit with side vents. Now after a good pressing, get rid of some of these wrinkles. This is going to be perfect and ready for the customer to try on. Now you've made it to the other side and your jacket should fit slimmer than it did before. If not, or you had any hiccups, please, like always, let me know below. Leave a comment, leave a review, like, whatever you have to do to get my attention, and I will reach out to you guys. And again, if you share this or like it, it does help me get noticed so I can make more videos. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time.